morning. Welcome to the University of Embu, where knowledge transforms. I would like to welcome you to this morning, students. My name is Professor Speranza Ndege. I'm the Director of Open Distance and E-Learning in this great University of Embu. Our trainers today are Mr. Peter Shinga, who will take you through what we are required to cover this morning. And we also have Mr. Paul Gidenji. Mr. Paul Gidenji, you will not see him, but he's being around in the background. Now, this training is planned for the fourth-year students. And we are happy to welcome you, our fourth-year students. We have been having these trainings since Monday. So we started with the first-year students. Then on Tuesday, we had the second-year students. On Wednesday, yesterday, we had the third-year students. And today, it's your turn, fourth-year students, to have you. Why did we decide to have these trainings? This is because classes have already started. And according to the statistics of the fourth-year students in class, we realized that there are a few of you who have not managed to enter into the MOODLE platform and also in the web conferencing for the classes. And we, of course, as usual, the University of Embu is very concerned about the students. And we decided to get that one or two people out there who have not managed to attend the classes. Maybe you have some login issues and we want to address them today. And if there's anyone else who would be interested in that class, the fourth-year class, to get a second training of the MOODLE platform and the web conferencing, then you are welcome. I do not expect really that there are many issues because remember the second semester we were with you and we completed that semester successfully online due to the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. So we are hoping that the 1, 2, 3 students out there who have not managed to attend classes, this is your turn. Just listen attentively, follow every step so that you can log in. So after this training, then we expect you to be in class. We are very delighted to have you. The continuing students, really very, very, very few have not managed to come to class, but for the past 3 days, everyone now is comfortable. And that is how we are at the University of Embu. We are very concerned. So you will be introduced to 2 platforms. There is the web conferencing for live lectures. The live lectures are very interesting. So where lecturers, they come to class as normal, the usual way, and they teach you as you listen. They see you, you see them, you ask questions, the questions are answered. If you want to put them in the public chat, you can put them your questions in the public chat and they are answered. And we have very good responses from the students that this way of learning is really interesting and they're able to concentrate without much distraction to everything that the teachers are teaching live. We also have another platform that is the MOODLE platform. This platform is a very powerful and used by over 68 million users all over the world. Many institutions of higher learning use the MOODLE platform. Ours is the most current platform that we are using. We are at 3.86, and I know the MOODLE platform, I know there is a release of 3.9, which we are soon going to upgrade to. And in this discussion, in this Moodle platform, we have the activities, the class activities. So we have the discussion forums, which are very, very important, students, and the chats. That is where you interact with your facilitators. And we have also the messaging too. You can send a message to the facilitator for personalized attention. Now, the discussion forums, you form groups, you discuss together. There is a moderator that each group is expected to choose, and this is to moderate what is happening in that group discussion, so that if there is anyone who is, going out of topic, the moderator says, no, come back, and let us continue with the topic of that we are supposed to cover this morning, this afternoon, this evening. And then there is also another person that we expect each group to appoint, that is a secretary who will take all those points, that discussion group. Then the report is written and is uploaded for other groups to see what each other group has discussed independently. Then we have the chats. It is in real time, where students chat together. The unit facilitator will also come in and chat with you. And it's very, very interesting. The Moodle platform we have has many, many online resources. We have also very well researched modules that have been written by the lecturers, and those notes are all on the Moodle platform. So the Moodle has a lot of resources, very, 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 very useful, even links that will lead you to the library. So we have those activities there, and of course we call them the e-activities. So students, we have taken care of you. So then, without taking much of the time, I'll call upon Mr. Peter Shinka to take you through the training. You are very much welcome, our students, and we are happy that majority of you are already attending the live lectures. You are in class. You are also very active on the Moodle platform. It's only a few students, one or two students out there who have not managed to join us in class. Those are the ones that we are looking for. We care, the University of Embu cares for every student. We have thousands and thousands of students, but there is that one that we cannot do without, and that is why we are looking out for you. We care for every student, and we must be accountable to every student that is in this University of Embu. Thank you very much. Welcome, Mr. Peter Shinga, to go training. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning. I'll be taking you through today's training. My name is Peter Shinga, and over the last few days, we've managed to upgrade the e-learning platform to well accommodate the high numbers of students who are trying to access it. So that we ensure that there's no lag in terms of delays in access and crashing when multiple people access it at the same time. So you must have received communication in your student emails in regards to that specific upgrade. And the link slightly changed. So if you still are using the previous link, then it might not be working at the moment. And my advice would be for you to access the e-learning platform. Kindly, if you had already saved the links on your device, you can clear the cache of the device in regards to your web browser. Okay, so that when you open the new links, you are able to get the correct link stored in the cache of your browser. So the easiest way to access it currently, if you do not know the new URL, is via the university website. So the links still remain where they were. At the top menu items, there's the e-learning. We also have at the useful links, there's the e-learning link. Under resources, there's the e-learning. And in the Odell website, there's also the e-learning link. So either of them will take you to the new e-learning platform, which has changed to lms1.embuni.ac.ke from the previous one, which was lms.embuni.ac.ke. Okay, so that is the slight change that has happened. Okay, once it takes you to the login page, you'll use your normal login credentials to be able to log in to the e-learning. If you forgot your password, then it is as simple as clicking the forgot your username or password link, which will take you to a reset page. And note that this password resetting will communicate with the email that you used during account creation. For this case, if you forgot your username, you can use the email address that you used during account creation. But technically, it's rare for you to forget your username since it's your admission number. And it's your admission number starting with a small letter, since the usernames for the Moodle platform generally don't pick capital letters. Okay, so you'll just type your admission number in full, uh, and then an email will be sent to the email that you used during registration. We are encouraging people to use their student email because at the university we have access to resetting the passwords in case you forget the password. If you're using your personal email and you do not have recovery information associated with that email, then you might be locked out, or we might need to change maybe the email itself from on the e-learning for you to be able to reset in the future. Okay, so for my case, I know my login credentials, so I'll just come to the login page, put in my admission number as my username starting with a small letter, and the password that I use during account creation, and I'll log in. Sorry for that. Okay, so in case you get the invalid login, then it means either your username or your password has an issue. Most of you are putting the username using a capital letter. It will not go through. Use it with a small letter. And the password needs to follow the password policy, which states that it has to have a capital letter, a small letter, a number, and an alphanumeric character, and it should be a minimum of 8 characters long. So if you're putting any password that does not meet that password policy criteria, then it means that that is not the password for that account. Okay, so once you log in, for continuing students, technically you'll see the units that you undertook during the last semester, that is the semester 2 of 2019-2020. Okay, if you've not yet enrolled into units for this semester, to be able to enroll for units for this semester, it is as simple as once you log in on the dashboard, the left menu item has the site home. Okay, so when you click on the site home, it will take you to a window where you should be able to search for the units that you're undertaking this semester. Um, the timetable was posted on the university website, okay, and can be accessed um, on the news and notices. We have the draft online teaching timetable, or on the main menu under students, you have the teaching timetable. So technically, the timetable is out, and you should be able to access the timetable to guide which units you are doing so that you can search for the units. Okay. Notice that as you're searching for the units, then you'll use the unit code. Let's say CCS space 010, for example. Okay. Notice that there has to be a space between the CCS and the 010, or alternatively is you can choose to search via the unit name rather than the unit code. Okay, so depending with how conversant you are with the unit names, then you can either use the unit name or the unit code. Okay, so for our case, we will use a sample training program which I created for this instance. Okay, so on this training course, it will show at a glance what we expect for this semester in regards to how the structure of the course will be at a bare minimum. Okay, so once you enroll into the course, then you should be able to see the announcements associated with that specific unit or course. Okay, that the lecturer has seen fit to pass to you students to facilitate your learning throughout the semester. We also have a course outline can be uploaded at this point. Most lecturers are posting it as a downloadable document. Okay. Others might decide to type it inline on the announcements part. Any can work. Okay. Uh, then we have the lectures part, where under the lectures, the first thing that should be there is a link to attend that specific lecture. If it has passed, then the lecturer might either replace it with information as to when the meeting happened or the class happened, and a link to that specific class. Okay, then we'll also have a lesson notes for that specific lecture, either via an attachment in terms of a document or a link to access those notes, depending with how the lecturer has seen fit to distribute the lesson notes. We'll also have discussion forums where a student can be able to students can be able to discuss with each other um, in matters regarding to maybe a specific topic of discussion. Okay. Then we might also have an assignment associated with a lesson. Okay. Depending with how the lecturer sees fit. We might also have a cut or a quiz associated with the lesson. So we'll go through those items. Okay. So the first one, generally as a downloadable document. The course outline, if you click on it, it will download automatically. Okay. Depending with the settings that you've put on your device. Some might ask you for permissions to be able to download, some will just download directly. Okay. So if you're using a computer, it might open it instead of downloading, depending with the browser settings. So to get the notes that have been attached, it's as simple as clicking it and it will launch it or download it, depending with the settings that you've put on your device. Okay, so for attending lectures, the lecturer will provide a procedure where you'll be required to, as you're joining, you need to join using your name and admission number for recording purposes in terms of class attendance. The lecturer should provide a password. For this case, there is no password, but for the next lesson, there's a password. So if you find an instance where there's no password to that link, then you need to contact the lecturer either through the class rep or maybe through the COD if you do not have contacts of the lecturer. Okay, so Then you need to click the I'm not a robot to ensure that the system knows that it's an actual human being trying to access that link. And then there's a join link button. We'll do it practically. So we'll use today's link, which is Thursday's link. We have a password here. If you can remember the password, then you just click the link, okay, to go to the meeting. If you are not sure if you remember the password, you can highlight and copy it. On mobile devices, you can long press on it and it will highlight it, then copy it, so that when you click on the link, you are able to paste the password. Okay. Also, you need to fill in your full names and your admission number for recording purposes, as the instructions said. Then you need to click the I'm not a robot, select whichever images you've been told to select. For my case, it's mountains or hills. I assume that is a mountain. Okay, and I verify. So it will check that I am not a robot, then I'll join the meeting. Okay. As you're joining the meeting, then there are multiple options of joining the meeting depending with the settings that have been put for that class. If it is a big class of around 300, then it means that the settings that have been preset for that class is a webinar kind of an environment where the lecturer has put minimum interactions between the students and the lecturer because of controlling large classes in terms of noise within the platform itself, people chatting, things on the public chat that are not relevant to the class, things of that sort. But the lecturer should be able to adjust as appropriate. Okay. Um, if it is a class for 200 people, you might be able to join using listen only, but the public chat will be enabled. Okay, unless the lecturer decides to unlock the people within that class for them to be able to enable their microphones. Okay. Um, Also, if it is a class of 50 thereabouts, then you should be able to join with using the microphone and being able to type on the public chat. Okay. As you're joining the class, if you're using a mobile phone, it will look as such, where it will only be the presentation that is visible. So to be able to access the public chat and view the people who are in class at the moment, it's as simple as clicking the top left icon that looks like a portrait of a person. Um, when you click on it, it will open um, a sort of a slide window that shows the users, a link to the public chat, and any shared notes that the lecturer might have shared with the class. Okay, so if you want to access the public chat, just click the public chat and it will open that public chat. Okay, for students who are in the class with you, instead of typing on the public chat, if you want to chat with them, it's as simple as clicking on their name, and an option to private chat them will appear. Okay, you can't private chat with yourself, that's why it's not appearing at this instance. Okay, so that is the case in regards to attending those classes. We also have an option for students to join using their Kabambe mobile phones, those that are not smartphones. You dial a number, the number that will be provided, a code associated with each class will be provided, and to mute and unmute, you'll use or dial 0. Okay, so the facility provides for people with smartphones, smart devices, or the phones that do not have access to internet also are covered. Okay, so on on the right side, we'll have the presentation window where the lecturer will be presenting the slides or the documents associated with that class. Okay. You'll also be able to see the name of the unit or the name of the meeting that the lecturer put. Next to the name of the meeting, there's a white button that shows if the session is being recorded or the class is being recorded or not. So at the moment, it's not being recorded. If the lecturer decides to record, then it will turn to red and it will notify the class that the session or the class is being recorded. Okay. So after the class has ended, the lecturer might choose to end the lecture, or you can decide to log out on your own. Okay. Sometimes the lecturer might not uh, end the meeting or the lesson. So it is as simple as logging out, and you will have gotten out of that specific um, class. Okay. So let me just log in back to the e-learning. Okay, sorry for that. So that is that in regards to attendance of the online classes. Um, let's go back and try and see how discussions work. Okay, so if a discussion has been placed um, on a specific maybe unit, giving more details as to what type of discussion is being undertaken, then it is as simple as clicking the discussion link, and it will take you to a window that will prompt you to chat, enter chat now, or use a more accessible interface, or view past chat sessions. Okay. So either of them will take you to the chat. I'll open all of them so that you can see the difference. Okay, this is the first option where you enter the chat. Looks as such, where you can type anything and it will be posted. Okay. Then also we have the option of a more accessible interface where you'll type your message. Okay, and you click on the submit, and it will show at the bottom all messages should or will appear for everyone who is chatting at the moment on both instances. We also have the last option where chat sessions can be viewed. So if you click on list all chat option sessions rather, it will show you all chats that have all chat sessions that have happened, and we should be able to click on any sessions and view who chat and what was in that chat session. Okay, so that is in regards to the charts. Okay, then also we might have an instance where you're given an assignment. An assignment can be in two forms. You might be required to download a document, work on it, and upload, or the questions are typed inline, and there's a box where you can type your answers, a text box where you can type your answers. So depending on how the settings have been put by the lecturer, then um, they will advise more on that. In our case, we have a downloadable document where you might choose to download it, okay, work on it, and then submit. Okay, so assume I have worked on my assignment and I need to submit. It's as simple as dragging and dropping. If you're using a computer, or if you're using a mobile device, then there is the icon of uploading a file or adding a file, where it will take you to a window where you can select the upload file and browse to wherever you see fit, or where you've saved your information. Okay, you can also put a save as name, uh, who the author is. Technically, it will pick your names as the user, um, and any license reserved for that. Okay, for our case, we don't need all those. We just upload the file. If you had initially uploaded one, it will prompt you to overwrite or to cancel. In my case, I will overwrite. I will save that. Okay, it will go. It will add itself under the file submissions, but it's still at the draft stage. So if you are sure about the information that you've posted, you can submit. If you're not sure, you can remove the submission, edit submission. Okay. Once you are completely sure that you're okay with that, you can submit the assignment. It will prompt you to confirm if you're sure. You click the checkbox that you are sure and click the continue button. Then it will submit it for grading. Once the grading has happened, then you will be able to see a grade status associated with it. Currently, it's not graded, but it has been submitted for grading. Okay, so it will also give you the due date, when you last modified your submissions and things of that sort. The remaining time to the closure of the assignment will also be displayed at that point. Okay, so that is that in regards to assignments. Notice that some lecturers might decide to put or to give you maybe sort of a takeaway cut in form of an assignment. Okay, the item that will be used to submit is the assignment sort of function within the e-learning platform. Technically, if that is the case, then we'll submit it as a normal assignment. If then the lecturer decides to put an online cut or quiz, then it's a slightly different kind of an environment where you'll be required to do the questions online, and they have certain restrictions. For example, for our case, we do not have much restrictions because it's a training kind of cut or a quiz, um, where we have generally multiple attempts, and which for those multiple attempts the highest grade will be picked. This is for our case study. Let me go through this quiz, then I'll take you through one which has more uh, sort of restrictions or information in regards to the quiz. Okay, so it's as simple as attempting the quiz. It will open a new window. Sorry for that. Okay, so once it opens the new window, um, let me see. Uh, okay, just a moment so that I can be able to capture that. Okay. Just a moment. Yes. So this is the quiz window where you can have different types of questions. You can have calculated questions, um, which technically are questions that associated with mathematical computations or calculations. So for this instance, it's as simple as writing the answer. If you have an instance where maybe for the class of chemistry, physics, maths, where you might be needed to do some formulae or type some formulae associated with the mathematical calculations, then the lecturer can decide to organize a small training session as to how you can be able to address those mathematical computations or formula within the CAT itself. Okay, then we also have the option of using the matching type of questions, where we have a description and you need to put a matching answer to it. Okay, for this case, I'll just pick them randomly. Um, okay, then we also have the multiple choices types of questions, where you need to pick one of the answers that is most appropriate. Okay, then we have short answer questions, where you need to type the answer in the to fill the gap within that question. Um, okay, so this one you just type the answer that you see fit. Okay, then we have the true false types of questions, where you select if the statement above is either true or false. Okay, then we have an essay type of question, where technically you will type whatever is associated with the question that has been indicated there. So the essay type of questions are generally the open questions that are usually used in terms of discussions, explanations within the normal CAT environment that you need to type now in this case. So depending with how the lecturer has set it, if it's something that you need to type a lot, then they will consider it in the time duration of the CAT or quiz itself, to ensure that you at least have adequate time to do your questions within that reasonable time. Okay, so technically those are a few of the types of questions that you might find. Okay, so once you've completed that, then it is as simple as clicking the finish attempt. It will show you which questions you've answered, which ones you've not. You can go back and attempt again, or you can submit and finish. So if you submit and finish, it will prompt for a confirmation if you are sure that you don't want to go back and change anything. Then you submit, and it will be submitted for grading. Okay, so technically that's the case in regards to that. Okay, so that is how cards and quizzes will be handled. Notice that there are security features that might be set on the card or the quiz, such that once you open it, since it launches a new window, then you might not be able to leave that window, or maybe that card or quiz. If you leave the window, the card or quiz will see as if you are trying to cheat or search for answers elsewhere, and it might block that submission, depending with the settings that the lecturer has put. That is why you're advised, if you're using maybe a mobile phone to do the cut or the quiz, ensure that maybe you've used the do not disturb mode, so that people do not call you, you do not receive texts, chats during the time that you're doing the actual cut. Also ensure that you're in a location where it has stable internet connectivity, so that you do not miss um, any question associated with that cut or quiz. Okay, so let me give you an example of another type of setting associated with cards or quizzes. So for our initial case, it was an unlimited kind of instance number of attempts, with the highest grade attempt to the highest grade being picked as the final grade. For this case, we have two attempts, and the grading method is the last attempt. Okay, so we have multiple options of grading. You can use the first attempt, the last attempt, the highest grade attempt, and things of that sort. Okay, it also gives the time when the cut was closed. In our case, since it has already passed, if it was still open, then you'll have an instance where the cut is open from this time to this time. Okay, then also it also prompts you to and gives you information if the cut or the quiz has a password, so that you can ask prior to the cut or quiz time. So also it also gives the time duration associated to with how much time you have to undertake the cut from the time you open it to the time you submit. Okay, so those are some of the settings that can be put um, in order to facilitate the attempting of that cut or quiz. Okay, so I think with that, then I've covered most of the items that as of now you need to understand as you're undertaking the course um, in that regard. Okay. The other thing that we'll be going through is your student portal, which by now I'm sure most of you have access to, um, since it is where you should be able to use um, to access to access your fee balance, unit registration information, your reporting, and all that. So technically, if you forgot your password, it's as simple as clicking the forgot password, and it will send an email to your student email. Notice the difference between the student portal and the e-learning platform is the e-learning sends to the email that you use during account creation, but the student portal sends to the student email. Okay, that is the difference. That's why we were saying for consistency purposes, we would rather for the e-learning you use your student email. Okay, so other than that, if you remember your password, it's as simple as logging in using your admission number and the password that you use during account creation. At a glance, you'll be able to see your fee, balance, and the hostel history. Currently, the hostel has been locked, as you already know the institution is closed for physical interaction until the government gives directive as to when we intend to open. Um, Communication will come in regards to that to your student email, and will also give information if you are reopening, then how hostels will be handled at that point. So keep accessing your student email so that you do not miss out on such information. Also, we also have information in regards to unit registration. Notice that before you register for units, the first thing that you need to do is to report for that specific semester. So in order to report on the menu item on the left side, then click reporting. Okay. If it is hidden, then it is the third that looks like a clock, or you can click the menu item at the top and expand it, click reporting. Then you should be able to click report now. And the current semester is 2020, semester 1 of 2020-2021. Okay, for my case, I cannot report due to reasons best known. Um, if you have any issue in terms of not being able to report, then kindly communicate with admissions so that they can be able to look into your account and activate it as appropriately for you to be able to report. Okay, so after reporting, then you can go to the units, and the reporting status will be reported, and then unit registration currently is still open. So depending with the settings of your account, then you should be able to see the current units being offered in that semester. So if your issue is that maybe the unit registration says closed, reporting status says not reported, and you cannot report, then contact the admissions office. Maybe you had called off and the status had not yet been changed back. Maybe for one reason or another, either maybe disciplinary cases, maybe your account was closed, or for one reason or another, then you need to contact admissions for them to be able to activate your account. Okay, so if there is an issue in regards to that, we've said that you contact the admissions office. The second issue that might appear is maybe the units that you are seeing are not the correct ones. For that case, then you need to contact your chairman of department for them to be able to know why exactly you're seeing the wrong units. Okay. Then you can also be able to see your unit registration history for those semesters that you actually registered for your units. It is as simple as clicking on the semester itself, and it will give you information in regards to that. For those that did not register for last semester due to one reason or another, then um, you can contact the chairman of department. Then they will assist in regards to that. Then you can also be able to view your curriculum for whichever year, whichever semester. Okay, so that maybe you plan for next semester and things of that sort. Okay, the last thing that we'll be looking into is your fees. Okay, so for your fees, once you go to the fee statement, you should be able to see all your fee payment history. Any penalties that might be charged, any administrative fees that might be charged due to lack of paying the full fee, maybe during within the stipulated timelines, then you should be able to see that information. You should also be able to see your fee structure for whichever year you are in. So once you generate, it will give you the fee structure. If it is not the case, then you can contact the finance department. Okay, so that is that in regards to the student portal. The last thing that we'll look into is in regards to the library and access to online resources. So in the main university website, under library, you have the option of library website. So once you open the library website, then you should have the e-resources for online or on-campus access. For those that may be around, then you can access using that link. For those who are still who are out of campus environment, then you can click the off-campus e-resources access. Okay. This will take you to a login page because we need to verify that you are actually a student of the university. Um, and once you log in, then you should be able to access to the subscribed e-databases, e-journals, and e-books for reference purposes. You also need to take into consideration that if maybe your account has not yet been created, then you need to contact the librarian, okay, to facilitate your account creation. Okay, and as such, then in order to be able to contact the librarian, you can ask on the library website. There's the option of Ask a Librarian. So when you click on it, it will take you to a page where you can put your names, your email address, the subject, maybe access to off-campus e-resources, um, and put the message in regards to that. Then we have uh, a part at the bottom where technically it tries to see if you are actually a human being. So you select or click on the item that has been identified at that point. Okay, so for this case, then you should be able to communicate such information to the librarian for them to be able to create that account. Um, Chances are your accounts might have been created and an email sent to your student email in regards to that. If not, you can contact the librarian uh, in that regard. Also, at the bottom, we have the library, sorry, email, which is library@embuni.ac.ke, which you can use to send your communication in regards to that. Okay, so with that, also we have the link to accessing exam past papers on the library website. So in case you need to access any of resources of the library, including the plagiarism checker and all that, you can contact the library services section. Okay, so there's also the communication that was sent in regards to booking of or reserving the space at the library. This also can be accessed from this point. Okay, so also to bring to your attention, there's a communication that came 2 days ago on Tuesday in regards to fee payment and access to online lectures. Kindly adhere to that communication that was sent to your student email. For those who do not have access to their student email, then you can contact support.ict@embuni.ac.ke for further assistance. Okay. Also, for those that have issues in regards to their e-learning platform, then they can contact Odell-student support at embuni.ac.ke. Okay, the links that are actually at the bottom of the live stream uh, can be used to send out communication in regards to the issues that you have and that which have not yet been addressed in this today's training. Okay, so in regards to that, I think I've captured what I was to train on. Maybe I try and address the questions that um, are on the live stream or live chat rather. So someone is asking about how to reset portal password. On the login page of the portal, you have the option of forgot password that will send an email to your student email. For e-learning, also has the forgot password link that will send an email to whichever email that you use during account creation of your e-learning account. Okay. I'm seeing a question is how will a university cater for some of us who depend on help loan to pay our fees now that we haven't received the monies? Okay, so in regards to help, the Office of the Dean of Students is currently handling such instances, and you can contact the Office of the Dean of Students for further follow-up. Okay, notice that um, all departments within the university have websites. Okay, so for the Dean of Students, under students, we have the Dean of Students website. For maybe finance, which is technically a support department. It's and about us, we have service departments, okay, where under service departments there are multiple service departments, including the vice chancellor's office. You also have the finance department at this point, where you can view the contacts associated with the finance department. Okay, so as for the Dean of Students Office, we have the email dos@embuni.ac.ke, okay, that you can use to contact the Office of the Dean of Students. So, I think, or I hope I have answered such a question well. There's the aspect of think that issue of not clearing fee because of help. I think I've tackled it. Kindly talk or send an email to the Dean of Students Office, as they are the contact people with the help team, and will give further information in regards to that. Okay. Um, I think I've addressed the questions that are being asked. Um, there's someone who's asking, those who don't have a library email, you do not need a library email to access. You need your student email rather. And if maybe you do not have access, or you've not received an email in regards to that account associated with off-campus access to library resources, then um, contact the librarian um, via either the library website, the Ask a Librarian, or emailing library@emboni.ac.ke. Either of them will go to the librarian, and you will be they will address your issue. There's the issue of access to online examinations. Currently, for continuing students, information in regards to performance or actually handling of online exams has not been communicated, and it will be communicated in due course. Okay, kindly keep checking your email. This communication will come mostly from the DVC ARE, in regards to handling of online exams. As of now, we are doing CATS assignments um, online, but not exams. Okay, for this is for the continuing students. Okay, so how to access and download past papers on the library website? There's that provision to do that. If you're having any challenges, uh, if you're having any challenges in regards to the downloads of past papers, then the two contacts for the library that have given, either the Ask a Librarian or the email library@embuni.ac.ke, you can use those for query in regards to that. Okay. I'm seeing a question that there are some courses that only half of the students are attending the online lectures. What will happen to such? Um, in regards to attend of online lectures, we are trying as much as possible to reach the whole population for them to be able to attend the online classes. But we're also cognizant of the fact that some students might be in very remote areas, and as such, there's communication that came initially from the institution in regards to reopening of this semester took into consideration all the students, and taking into account those who are also in remote areas and might maybe disadvantaged in regards to accessing online classes. And the advice was, unless now they try as much as possible to access. If they cannot, they have also the option of calling off this semester. But we are trying as much as possible to reach them to prevent such an instance. Okay, so I hope that I have answered that question. Also, the fact that the online classes, you need not to have maybe the internet. You can also use a phone that is not internet enabled by just dialing the number that is usually provided on the sort of online classroom that we're using, the Kenneth Web Conference. That web conferencing facility has the option to call and listen to the class. So we are trying as much as possible to reach everyone within all corners of the country, to ensure that no one is disadvantaged when it comes to attending of the classes. I think with that, then I will um, I will take it back to the director Odell to close the session. So in case there are further queries, then you can send to the two emails that are at the bottom of the screen. That is the ICT email and the Odell email. Okay, so thank you. I think I hand it back to the director.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peter Shinga, for that training. Students, we are very happy that you have been with us for this training, and we appreciate very much the questions you have been asking. And I want to thank Mr. Shinga very much for answering those questions. Yes, that is why this training was so important. That is why we really wanted everyone not to miss the classes. And we know that some of you are in remote areas of this country where the internet has connection has challenges, but we know also that the country has done a lot in terms of ICT infrastructure. Actually, it's not really as bad as they used to be many years back. I think the country has progressed well with ICT and putting in place internet infrastructure. And from even the statistics that we have in class, those who have not been able to attend the classes so far are not many. And that is why we decided, whichever part of the country you are in, we reach out to you today so that you can be able to log in and also attend the live lectures and also access the activities, the e-activities which are on the MOODLE platform. We call them the e-activities. So Mr. Shinga has taken you through what we were supposed to cover today. That is how to log in the e-learning platform, how to access the unit, how to access the course material, and he has also talked about the links to those resources. He has talked of how to submit an assignment online, how to sit for a quiz online, and how to access the chats and the discussion forums. I cannot overemphasize the importance of the discussion forums because that is where the class activities are concentrated. And the students, discussions are very, very important, even in the face-to-face, environments where students will sit together and they discuss various topics as a group. We talk of collaboration, working together, so that you gain from each other's experience, because what I've read and what someone has read is different, so we share. So knowledge sharing is very important. And our motto, this Invert of Embu, no range transforms. So he has also taken you through how to reset a password and how to access the online resources in the library. And I've also listened to some of those questions regarding the online resources. We have very, 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 very many resources in the library. The university has subscribed to many texts, journals, books internationally and also locally. So you don't have to worry about what to read because all the resources are there. You can access them from our library. So I think questions with the login issues, those have been resolved. There are a few who have asked about the fees, and again, the fees issues have also been addressed by Mr. Shinga. Then the emails, somebody who sent also talked about a password, and I think also that one has been resolved when he was training about resetting a password. So I'm really happy that those questions came through because it's by asking that you learn how to do things. And we are very concerned students about you. I cannot overemphasize how important you are to us and how the University of Embu values every student's presence in the classroom. So if you have other questions that you maybe after this training you think of another question and you want it to be addressed, or there is something else that you want to discuss about, I'm there for you students. You know me, you have been together. I'm Professor Esperanza Dege, the director of Open Distance and e-learning. I'm there to address every issue that you have. So the number that I will give you is my personal line, and I always tell the students, call me anytime, day, night. Someone on my task, if it is 1 a.m., yes, call me and I'll answer that. I'll pick the phone. Someone will ask about 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Students, I'm there for you. Call me anytime and I'll pick that phone. So the number is 0758 131 736. You have somewhere you can write? Just write it. 0758 131 736. Then we have an Opendesk email. Write it down. ondel-student-support@embuni.ac.ke. I will repeat. ondel-student-support@embuni.ac.ke. You have also been told by Mr. Shinga that there are emails which are scrolling down. You can also put those ones down. Write them somewhere. So with this, then we have come to the end of this training. We don't really expect any other problems. Come to class, students. We are waiting for you. And we are very happy that you have been with us until the end of this training. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Until we meet again in class. Thank you.